Meron na? Ah, okay. I'm Isabelita, Manalastas-Watanabe. I wanted to change this title, remove to the USA. I can deploy to Canada now. And just look only at the vision. And you will wonder why I said to provide continuous employment in their chosen careers. I'm referring to the nurses and caregivers who are now in Japan. And you do not know the situation in Japan. That's why I'm going to tell you. And I really hope somebody will get interested in the project. And I prepared a complete study. 8 minutes impossible. But anyway, I have complete study and we'll just give them away, or as Mario said, we can put online. I've lived and worked and studied in Japan for more than 30 years. I left after 1 year of graduation at UP, and I started liking Japan, being a youth ambassador of goodwill to Japan and ASEAN countries. So I chose Japan over MIT, and everybody thought I was crazy. Yeah, because I had to learn the language, and it's not easy. But in Japan, it was open only around a little over 150 years. Closed yan. So lahat ng policies closed pa rin. But there are improvements. If you are a Japanese woman and you marry a Japanese guy, and you give birth in Japan, wala yung jus soli, jus sanguine na rule. If you are a Japanese woman, you cannot have a Japanese child with a Japanese nationality. It should be the man. So nag-change na yan. And if you're married with a Japanese, you will have to, how do you say that? Stay married. Kasi every year, ang renewal na yung visa as a spouse. Yes, that's true. Ngayon, humaba-haba na ng konti. Now, sometimes you cannot blame the government. It's very political. Hindi sila used to foreigners. When I was a student, pag nasalita ka ng English, titignan ka ng mga bata. Pag naman nagsalita ka, o kaya black ang color ng skin mo, they stare at you. It's changing, no? Pero kami, I mean, if I were a Japanese, a caregiver or nurse will be giving me medicine, matatakot ako. Kasi baka hindi niya naintindihan anong binibigay niya sa akin na gamot. So in Japan, if you enter as a caregiver or a nurse, you are one of the best from the Philippines. Really. So I don't advocate getting from the Philippines. Maraming fake documents, etc. But in Japan, those who are being hired for Japan, meron pa silang training sa Philippines even before they leave. And there are 2 government agencies involved, POEA natin and Chitwals of Japan. No? So, parang sila na ang best qualified. However, ito kasing aging society na yun, nakita nyo, 28% ng Japanese are older than 65. But out of the working population, 40% yun. No, 45%. And they predict magiging 80% dyan in 2016. Kaya lang may denial pa ang Japanese. Because they have very small houses. You know, when Mary says, let's have Zoom, at ang oras ko ay 12 o'clock midnight or 1 o'clock, ang hirap kahit pwede akong umisi. Kasi i-extend mo isang arm mo, nasa bedroom ka na, isang arm mo nasa toilet ka, isang arm mo sa dining room ka. Really, a 22 square meter bahay is a mansion. It's normal and very expensive. That's $1,500 a month rent in Tokyo. So if you want to look outside, pwede ka. Pero, babalik ka sa I mean, malaking pero 1.5 hours na mag-commute ka is not good. Now, kahit hindi ko maubos ito, inikot ko lang yung presentation, sasabihin ko sa inyo yung obstacles. It is the difficulty with the Japanese language. Kasi papasok ka, not as a caregiver or a nurse. You are a trainee. dadagdagan lang din ng konti magandang para hindi ka ordinary training na carpenter or something. And they only opened in 2019. May denial nga. So in Philippines, 200 caregivers, 300 nurses, hindi pa mabuo. Why? Because of the language. If I can go to Canada or Australia or the US, na wala akong problema, bakit ko nga pupunta doon? But there are people, kahit saan ng opportunity, the Filipino will go. Now, pagdating niya sa Japan, she has 3 years visa as a trainee. First year, mag-exam siya. 3 chances to pass the Japanese language proficiency test. More than half failed it. So gusto mong market, unfair naman sa Japan if I get those na pinagpagura ng Japanese government and the POEA na ipasok sa Japan, tinraise sila, and then I'll get them and deploy them to the US or everywhere else. Kasi kailangan din sila ng Japan, di ba? Pero kung nasa 3rd year na siya, at siya ay babagsak na naman, yun ang market ko. But I cannot stop anybody from applying if I try to offer them another opportunity. And they cannot be visited. I mean, yung mga relatives, hindi pa yun. Kasi nasa dorm sila ng GQuels, that organization. Tapos ang mahal-mahal ng deployment because of the many costs sa POEA, sa Japanese side, sa magtitrain ng language, everything. So, ang tingin ko, they are the most qualified. No? But, it doesn't mean pag nag-fail ka ng language, hindi ka marunong. Hindi ka marunong sa language. But you are a registered nurse, licensed caregiver sa Pilipinas pa, na may extra training pa. So, ang dami talaga nag-fail, ang dami mag-fail. Now, assume mo that you will pass. Alam mo, hindi ka automatic na mag-stay na permanent residence. Meron akong staff, 10 taon na. Kinumpute nila yung kanyang assets and everything. Rejected na naman for permanent visa. So I wanted our nurses really to have another chance to continue their careers instead of being deported. Well, I don't like to say deported to the Philippines, but they will be sent back to the Philippines. And more than half of those will be sent back. Tapos, ang quota, 5,000 workers every month, including Vietnam and Indonesia. Hindi na fill up ang quota. Kasi may language. Kaya nga dito, I was stupid. Why did I go to Japan? But somehow it's my destiny. I studied there. I took my master's there. I was a diplomat before. And then I was a banker. And now I have my own company. And my company has the license to, like an additional product for us to employ workers. But si Attorney Lorna, gagawin niya akong jobless, papawin niya yung mga OFWs, di ba? Yun ang market ko sa money transfer. But I thought about that before. So I have now Nepal, Vietnam, Indonesia, ano pa ba? Dumami na. And by January the latest, I have more than 100 countries. So huwag kayong mag-aalala. Ang kailangan ko ngayon, isang company sa Philippines, sa Japan, or Canada maybe, who is licensed, alam niya ang law, dahil hindi ko alam ang Amerika, hindi ko alam ang Canada, wala ko lang ba. Ask me anything about Japan, I can answer. And we are a stable company. So, partner tayo. Not only for the money, ako personally, hindi ko na kailangan yun. But I really want to do that.